Radha Krishna, Jhulan Yatra ki.
Jai.
What is actually Jhulan Yatra? Last time we spoke a little bit about Jhulan, but it was in a general way. But as we know, when we read the different pastimes of Krishna, the Jhulan is not a one-time celebration, one-time pastime, not one time. It happens every so often. As we were singing this wonderful Brajabhasha song, it says, especially when Radharani goes into Man. Man is a lover's anger, they say. Lover's anger. When the lover, beloved, wants more attention from the lover, then she goes into this Man. The Man is a stage of Prem. Prem is the very basic spiritual feeling of love. Prem. Basic spiritual. And when Prem intensifies, becomes more intense, then it becomes Sneha. Sneha means where as soon as the beloved thinks about her lover, immediately her heart melts, like when butter or ghee comes close to the fire. So that's Sneha. And then from Sneha, when it more intensifies, when it more intensifies, then it becomes Man. But Man is a very special mood of Srimati Radharani. Nobody else. The other eternal associates in the other different rasas, like Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and even Shanta, and none of these associates, eternal associates of the Lord, experience this height of prem in Man, anger, lover's anger, just to get more attention. And as we discussed last time, especially when Krishna is late for his rendezvous, the rendezvous has been already fixed earlier that day. Messengers have been sent to Radharani and to Krishna. When is the best time they should meet? It is known as Nishanta Lila. Of the 8 types, 3-hour timings, the 24 hours are divided into 8 3-hourly timings where different pastimes are performed. So, in the night, it's known as Nishant. Nishant Lila, this particular pastime. So when, through the messengers, duty they are called, mostly all manjaris, they bring news of meeting, a particular time, a rendezvous. And Krishna usually comes the right time. Doesn't want to be late. Because he is also eager, very eager to meet. However, sometimes on the way, he has to pass through Chandravali's Kunj. Chandravali's Kunj is very near to Govardhan. And Radharani's Kunj is very close to Jamuna or Radha Kund. So sometimes he has to pass that way of Chandravali's Kunj, Laube. So as soon as Chandravali's Sakhis, she has her own Sakhis, sees Krishna going, they run out and they catch hold of Krishna and say, you have to come. Say, no, I can't come. Say, no, you have to come. Like that. There's a very nice exchange, very loving exchange. Krishna's heart is palpitating because he wants to go and meet his beloved Radharani. So somehow they manage. They can't always manage, but sometimes they are able to manage to take Krishna inside the Kunja, where Chandravali is waiting. And therefore he has to pass some time, he is there. After all, Chandravali is also very dear to Krishna. So the time passes and Krishna is not able to notice at the time. And then, in the meanwhile, Radharani is sitting there and she has a flower garland and also her hair is decorated with flower garlands. And she's simply taken the garland off because of the heat of the body, of waiting for Krishna. The flower garlands begin to, what do you call that? Wither, as a dry up, yes. Welcome. So then she begins to take the flowers like that till there are no more flowers. Then she catches hold of her hair, there's no more flowers. And finally Krishna comes. Of course, there's so many different pastimes regarding, we are not particularly we have to focus on our Jhulan festival. So finally Krishna comes. Sometimes Radharani makes a promise. He said, don't allow Krishna to come into my stand. Lalita, Vishakha, you stand at the gate and don't allow Krishna to come. So when Krishna wants to come, they stop. No, you can't go. Like that. Anyhow, so he convinces the Lalita, Vishakha, Tunga, Vidya, Chandra, Champak, Lata and all the others. He said, listen, if you are stopping me, you are actually making your Devi, your Swamini, more pain because of separation. Do you want that? So finally he's able. Anyhow, now see why we celebrate Jhulan Yatra today. One time in the year, Jhulan Yatra. It is Ekadasi before Baladev Purnima. That's the Tithi. See, in Braj, as well as in many parts of India, there is this tradition, custom, that the daughter of a family has been given in marriage and she has gone to live at her in-laws' place. Naturally, she has to live with her husband. In the in-laws' place. One time in the year, the brother goes and brings his sister to the mother's house. This is still now practiced. And she spends some time there, a week, 10 days, whatever. And then the brother again brings her back to her in-laws' house. So she has this connection with her parents, like that. So on this day, Sridham, the brother of Radharani, she goes to her in-laws' place, to bring her. Of course, Kutila, the mother-in-law, she doesn't want to allow. No, we can't take her. So Sridham knows this, that this will happen. So he has brought a lot of presents. Very beautiful saris, jewelry like that. And she said that, look, my father has sent this for you. So Jatila and Kutila, sister-in-law and mother-in-law. So naturally, when a lady sees nice jewelry, nice saris, heart is immediately melted. So they allow, okay. But don't be late, you should come back very soon, very quickly. Yes. Bring her back very soon. So, because Radharani is brought after a long time to Varsana, and all the gopis, and they're all very much excited that now Krishna has come, we have to have a swing festival. So they decorate the swing very nicely under a kadamba tree or a tamal tree. These are the two very choice trees. Tamal tree is very strong, sturdy, and it has the color of Krishna. Krishna's complexion is sometimes compared to the tamal tree. And during the disappearance of Krishna from the Ras Lila arena, when Krishna disappears, then the gopis go searching. Oh, where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? And they are so much in that mood, searching for Krishna. Then, in the absence of Krishna, the pain of separation, vipralamba bhav, is so strong that anything that reminds them of Krishna is known as uddipan. There's so many uddipan.
Stimuli.
Stimuli. Exactly. Just like we were singing Bharada. In that song, Bharada is referred to the clouds. Bara means blessings. Bara. Vardhan. No, Vardhan. Da means giver. So that is why sometimes the monsoon rains or clouds, rain clouds, are known as Varada. So when they see that cloud, they think of Krishna. So when they see this peacock feather, think of Krishna. And when they see the tamal tree, they also think of Krishna. So either in one of the branches of the tamal tree or kadamba, because when Krishna is not performing the Maharas, you see, actually there's two types of ras dance. Maharas is one time in the year during the autumnal full moon, and there are other rases. Krishna has actually two ras dance, autumnal and spring. Balarama has only one, the spring. So when the Maharas is not happening, then Krishna performs Ras Lila in the Kadamba garden, and the garden of Kadamba trees. Kadamba trees are very strong and high. very strong. So they build a swing also from the kadamba tree. And nicely decorated. And then the gopis start pulling. Here, of course, we read in the song that the gopis bind with their hearts the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. But in other places, our acharyas have noted that this pulling of the string towards them is to bring the Radha and Krishna into their hearts. They bring them into their heart. Oh, Radha and Krishna, please swing your way into our hearts. And there we will swing you eternally. Now, right now, we are swinging you outside on a swing and we're pulling. But this will finish after some time. But the swinging in my heart will be always there. Yeah. So that is the Jhulan Yatra. And also it takes place in the monsoon season. There's a specific reason for that. For monsoon, because a lot of flowers go. Shravan, the 2 months of monsoons. In the month of Shravan, so many flowers are flowering. So it's nice to decorate so opulently with so many flowers. So in Shravan, and besides, they're all cowherd people. So during monsoons, they don't always take the cows to eat the grass. Because the grass, after the rains, are not edible for the cows. It's not very good. It creates some problem in them, this particular grass. So there's not so much work for the cowherd community during monsoons. So that is why during that time, Radharani doesn't have too many household chores to perform. Because she milks the cow, she boils the milk, she makes so many preparations from the milk. That is her service. She does when she is in the house of her in-laws. But during the monsoon season, there's not so much work because everybody is indoors. So that is why during this time of the year, Radharani is brought to Varsana to perform. The gopis then perform this swing festival, Jhulan Yatra, for 5 days. For 5 days, starting from today. And it ends with Balaram Purnima. Actually, Balaram Purnima is also Raksha Bandhan. Krishna also ties this band of protection to all the gopis. Raksha Bandhan. Raksha Bandhan is when the brother ties a what is it called? A kind of band made of wrist, yes, band for the protection of the sister. So that this band is there to protect the sister. Anytime she needs protection, he is there. So that's why on Balaram Purnima, this particular festival is also held. So from today all the way to Purnima, there will be the Jhulan festival. Every day one can swing. So any questions?
Raksha Bandhan, you can little pray on it.
Raksha means protection. And bandhan means tying a band.
The ladies take it on the left hand, the man on the right hand. Is it true?
No, the man doesn't take it.
This is
So
different.
it is only for the sisters. The brothers, they tie this band on the sister's wrist. For married, it's on the left, and married is on the right hand, the unmarried on the left hand.
And like this, okay.
I mean, but the brother is the one who's tying.
Mm.
And there's a mantra.
Mm-hmm.
With that mantra they tie this. May the Lord protect you at all times. And this is the protection band. First they offer the band to the Lord, and then
Okay.
so I thank all of you you have heard me very patiently. I must have made so many mistakes, but you still tolerated it. And thank you so much.
Rakshabandhan is the other way around. The sister gives it to the brother on the hand, the right hand. Did you say that? Or?
No.
During Bhatri Dvij, then the sister puts the pota on. But Raksha Bandhan is, the sister is protected.
The sister is protected, but the band goes on the man's hand, on the
Yes,
brother's hand.
the brother's hand, yes. So Maharaj, may I beg for your leave?
I will go. I also go because I have to go to one people more.
You're going?
Actually, I'm a little late, but that doesn't matter. And anyway, there are no questions. So I don't know what to speak on. I'm not very versatile, taking any subject matter and speaking on that. I'm not such a good.
But that is pure nectar came now. Pure nectar came now.
I think we are not satisfied. At least I am not really satisfied. I think a little more will come.
Well, in this particular, one can go on talking about the Lila, how there are different Leelas, how Krishna can break the man. After Krishna breaks the man, then only Radharani comes and sits on the swing. So how does Krishna? So first of all, Radharani tells her Sakhis, don't allow that cheater. I don't want to see his face. Don't allow him. I will not allow him to come. I don't want to even see him. And I will certainly not allow him to touch me. So then Krishna comes, ultimately very late. All the different marks of his having spent the night with Chandravali is there. Natural. So when the gopis have already prepared a place for Krishna to sit outside the kunj. So they make a seat of kusha grass. Now, as you know, kusha grass has a lot of it's not very comfortable to sit on kusha grass. It has these little thorns, it's little thorny. So you sit. So Krishna is okay, I will sit. So he sits there and then he tells that, look, I don't mind sitting here. But do you think that your Devi will be happy that you're making it so late for me to come? You go ask her. So when they go inside, he also goes inside. Because there's nobody to stop him. So he also goes inside. And so then Radha said, why did you allow him to come? Huh? So Radharani saw him with a sidelong glance. So then the gopis asked her, how do you know? You said that you don't want to see him. How do you know he has come? He's far away in the gate. So you have seen him. So you could not make your promise. You broke your promise. Then, all right, 2 promises have been broken. He has been allowed to come into the Kunj and she has seen him. 2 promises. The 3rd promise, yes, so Lalita Vishakha is saying, yes, we know you, Radha. You are completely incapable of holding on to your promise. When it comes to Krishna, then you melt like butter. So no, I will not allow him. Now So then Krishna finally comes inside and he says that you please bind me so that this pastime actually took place. We hear about Damodar Lila, the Damodar Lila that we read and hear about is actually where Mother Yasoda ties the rope around Krishna's waist. Udar is waist, Dam is the rope. But there is actually a different Damodar. Actually, Krishna is known as Damodar, not specific because of Yashoda Mai tying the rope around the waist, but when Krishna comes and he says that you can do whatever you want with me. So he said, yes, I will see that you never go to anywhere else, to any other. Only me you have to visit. So she takes her, it's called Orni. It's a long. So she ties that and ties it to the tree, one of the plants. And she goes away. Now in the Damodar Lila of Yashoda Mai tying the rope, Krishna is given open. He escapes, he still goes away. He takes the pestle between the trees and then he brings it down. But in this particular Leela, Krishna tries to get up, but cannot. She has tied. It is the thing that shows that the love of Yashoda in comparison to love of Radharani, Krishna cannot break the love bonds of Radharani. So finally, she has to come open up and then the swing festival begins. So therefore actually we celebrate Damodar pastime with Radha and Krishna. Of course, this also took place, but Shukadev Goswami mentions very shortly, in very brief, he mentions this Damodar Lila. because it was the desire of Vyasadeva to broadcast the Damodar Lila of Yashoda Mai. Because the other pastime, of course, all the pastimes of Krishna are nectarian, they're all transcendental, there's no doubt about that. But what is very special about this Damodar Lila, where Yashoda Mai ties Krishna with a rope around the waist, is that every time she got a rope, it was always 2 fingers short. She couldn't bind him. 2 fingers short. So she was thinking, what is this? I have this rope. It actually is large enough. These ropes are meant to tie the hind legs of the cows when they're being milked. So it's quite large. But she's thinking that this is large, why is it not fitting? And she gets another rope. And again she makes a knot and extends it. Still not fitting, still 2 fingers less. Again, all the ropes that she had there, she knotted them together and became very long. Still together. Yeah. Now, this particular pastime of Krishna is giving us an extremely important point to all the devotees regarding devotional service. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has commented that these 2 fingers are missing, always 2. So what are the 2 fingers? Finally, of course, in the Lila, Krishna stands still, seeing that his mother is perspiring, her hair is all tousled, the beautiful flower which was decorating her head has fallen down, she's sighing and breathing heavily out of a lot of exertion, so she feels pity for her mother, for his mother. So he stands, the mother ties. And at that time, she was able to tie. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is saying that these 2 missing fingers, is one of them is our own endeavor in spiritual life. We have to put all our strength, all our qualities of humility, tolerance, and patience, and with that attitude, we must engage in devotional service with all our might, with all our potency, with all our strength. And the other missing finger represents Krishna's mercy. Both have to meet. Our own endeavor as well as Krishna's mercy. A lot of the devotees, they think that, I'll simply pray to Krishna for his mercy and everything will be all right. No, that is not devotional service. Devotional service means all the strength that is in my body, I should use in my service. So for this particular truth, Srila Vyasadeva wanted to highlight this particular pastime. Instead of highlighting the other pastime where Radharani is binding Krishna around the waist, which is also Damodar Lila. Because from there, it's on a very high plane. We all know that Radharani is the most beloved of Krishna. We also know that she has 25 transcendental qualities, and one of the qualities is that she keeps Krishna always under her control. We know this because that's one of her qualities. So, by tying Krishna around the waist, she has simply once again exhibited that how she keeps Krishna under her control. But the message and the teachings that Yashoda Mai and Krishna Lila, Damodar Lila gives us is a very important teaching for our spiritual development. So therefore, this Leela has been highlighted over and above the Leela between Radharani and Krishna being tied. And in this way, the Jhulan Yatra ends by Damodar Leela, so to speak. So at that time also there is a swing festival, but that is in Kartik. But this swing festival, which is in the month of Shravan, this is specifically when Radharani comes from her in-laws' house to her own parents, Kirtida and Vrishabhanu, and spends some time there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, all of you, very much for your patient hearing, and hope we shall meet again and I can all have your association.